I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 18th, 2016. An Israeli man was killed and another seriously wounded this afternoon in a terror attack in the West Bank. The two victims, aged 21 and 35, were each stabbed multiple times by two teenage Palestinian assailants near the Rami Levy supermarket in the Shar Binyamin industrial zone, which is southeast of Ramallah, north of Jerusalem. Both victims were taken to Jerusalem hospitals. The 21-year-old man was initially reported as being severely injured in the attack, and despite doctors' efforts to save him, he was pronounced dead soon after. The two terrorists, said to be 14 years of age, were shot by an armed civilian who was in the area, neutralizing them. They were said to be in serious condition. They are reportedly residents of the West Bank village of Betunia near Ramallah, named by Ynet as Omar Rimawi and Ibrahim Sabah. They were evacuated to Jerusalem hospitals for treatment. Last night at a town hall event in Charleston, South Carolina, hosted by MSNBC, Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump weighed in on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Trump was asked by an audience member, if elected president, what steps he would take to establish a peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians. Trump responded that it was an extremely difficult agreement to reach, but that he would give it his best shot. And whereas in the past Trump has suggested that both sides are responsible for the current lack of peace efforts, last night Trump seemed to put more of the onus on the Palestinians.
Okay, I think it's probably the toughest agreement of any kind to make. It has been going on for many years. Many friends of mine have been involved. They're very, very good businessmen, very good negotiators. A lot of people say an agreement can't be made, which is okay. I mean, sometimes agreements can't be made, not good. But, you know, you have both sides, really, but you have one side in particular growing up and learning that these are the worst people, these people are the worst people, et cetera, et cetera. It is a very, very tough agreement to make. I was with a very prominent Israeli the other day. Says it's impossible because the other side has been trained from the time they're children to hate Jewish people. It's possible, it's not makeable, because don't forget, it has to last. You know, it's wonderful to make it and it doesn't work, but it has to last. To make lasting peace there, probably the toughest deal of all, but I'm going to give it a shot.
As Denmark marks 1 year since the shootings that left a Jewish-Israeli security guard and a Danish filmmaker dead, its parliament instituted a new Medal of Civil Valor to honor the men for their bravery. On the night of February the 14th of 2015, 22-year-old Omar El Hussein shot and killed 55-year-old Finn Norgard at the Cultural Center at Krutondin, and a few hours later shot and killed 37-year-old Dan Uzan, who was protecting a synagogue in Copenhagen. Danish parliament said this week that the medal named for the men will be given to citizens who demonstrate unusual courage while risking their own lives in an attempt to save the lives of others. The 42nd annual leadership mission to Israel of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations concluded today. Over the course of the 5-day trip, conference delegates met with high-level Israeli leaders, academics, diplomats, and opinion makers across the political spectrum. Yesterday, they toured Israel's borders with Syria and Lebanon. They also met with Israeli Arab leaders to discuss the economic, educational, and social status of Israel's Arab citizens. The group also took part in the concluding session of a symposium at Haifa University on Israel diaspora relations, which was held in conjunction with the Ruderman Program for American Jewish Studies. Executive Director of the Latin American Jewish Congress, Claudio Eppelman, attended the 12th Doha Interfaith Dialogue Conference this week on behalf of the World Jewish Congress. Eppelman was accompanied by fellow Argentines Rabbi Marcello Polakov and Muslim leader Omar Aboud, where he addressed the hundreds of Muslims, Christians, and Jews gathered on how Argentina's model of coexistence can be a source of hope. He said if we can successfully spread the message in the Middle East that the inter-religious cooperation model that we have in Argentina helps to bring about peace, no doubt we live in a different world. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, February the 18th. At 7:30, Israeli diplomat Dani Ayalon talks about defending Israel on college campuses. At 8, Professor Emeritus of Harvard Law School Alan Dershowitz talks about the American legal system and Israel in a program of the UJA and JCC of Greenwich, Connecticut at the Greenwich Library. Then at 9, Mark Golub sits down for a one-on-one with Dershowitz on L'chaim, and at 10, industrialist Steph Wertheimer talks about his philosophy of life with Jane Eisner of The Forward in a program of the Leo Beck Institute. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30 on Election 2016, Mark Golub speaks to David Suissa, president of Tribe Media and chief editor of its publication, the Jewish Journal of Greater Los Angeles, who discusses the strengths and weaknesses of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and analyzes the Donald Trump phenomenon. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 18th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.